Hi everyone. I can see people are starting to join. Welcome to today's webinar. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes just to let everybody join. And in the meantime, I'll start doing a bit of an introduction before we kick off. So my name's Emma. I'm from Enterprise Nation. Really pleased to see you all today. Thank you for joining us on this rainy UK Wednesday, wherever you are. Um, Today's session, we are going to be talking about how do we build a smart, resilient tech setup for our businesses. So I'm sure all of you are aware there's so much information out there about how AI can make you be more productive. A lot of people are obviously accessing lots of different tools to do that. But actually, what about the tech and the systems that you've got in place in your businesses to support using AI? Because that is really, really key to getting those foundations in place for your business. So we'll be covering everything from device management to some of those tools on productivity, a bit of a chat about security as well. And as a startup, where can you really focus your time, budget, and effort when it comes to this? So I'm delighted to be joined by experts from Dell and Intel who'll be sharing some of their top tips and insights to help us with this topic. So in terms of format, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we'll open into a discussion between the three of us on this theme. And then after that, we'll open to the floor for some questions. So do pop your questions in the Q&A box as we go along, and I'll come to those at the end. So to my lovely panelists, Richie from Dell, do you want to introduce yourself first and tell us a bit about you?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. My name's Richie Fontaine. I am a product marketing consultant. I'm aligned to the client side of things, particularly for medium business, and really just look at and help customers with their journey from a client perspective to make sure they've got the right solutions to maximize their business and obviously delight their end users that are using the IT to progress their business.
Super. Thanks, Richie. And Jimmy.
Hi everyone, this is Jimmy White from Intel. I'm the technical sales specialist for the commercial client PC platform for Intel. I am the technical expert for the platform. I help customers to understand what is available on the Intel PC platform. The technologies and how they can use it so that they can maximize their return on investment.
Super.
Yeah.
And for all of our attendees joining as well, if you want to introduce yourself in the chat to meet others, please do as well. So we're going to move on to some foundational questions for this topic. And Richie, I'd love to start with you. When
Sure.
it comes to being AI ready today as a small business, what does that really look like? And what do you think some of the challenges are that small businesses are facing here?
So I think to be AI ready is really to have the right infrastructure primarily within your organization and also the right strategy for what AI is going to do for your organization and how it can enhance the actual overall output from that organization, as well as maximizing the ability to use applications that utilize AI within that application or applications. Some of the challenges that I see are primarily around engagement and buy-in from certain parts of certain businesses. So there'll be some people that will say, okay, we have a priority of where we can spend our money. Ultimately, it may not be that AI or even refreshing that estate is seen as a priority. There may be other considerations that are made ahead of it and not necessarily for the right reasons. So making sure that you have buying and actually educating those that need to have that education as to the virtues of being AI ready from an organization point of view is absolutely key. As without that and the buying, you can't then progress forward.
Absolutely. And I think that leads us on to as well looking at what role should leaders play within a business. Now, we know with many small businesses, looking after the IT and the infrastructure might not even be the role of an IT manager. It might be still the founder. It might still be, it might be someone like the COO, for instance, if you've got one in your business. So, any kind of advice there on how people can play that role in laying those foundations for the rest of the business?
I think it's really around just understanding where your business needs to go and also understand the technology because ultimately, if you're not embracing the latest technology, whether it's AI or whatever that could be, and your competitors are, you've left yourself as a disadvantage potentially, not only internally but externally in terms of how you utilize those tools. So really, it's key to have that strategy in place to say, technology is always moving, we're always evolving. If you go back far enough, people were still using fax machines and telex machines and all those ancient things, and now in museums, things do progress and things do get to that point where actually we need to move along as well. So we're on the same train for AI, otherwise we get left at the station.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jimmy, what about you? What does it mean from your perspective to be AI ready today when it comes to your technology?
I agree with most of the things that we just said. I mean, you really need to understand your business priorities and your strategy and how that and also the technology and find out how those two things come together. And then you think about what are the technologies that you're going to buy to implement those. So I think you need to take that step by step to understand what it is you want, what technology is available, and how can I buy those infrastructure to support it, including the PCs or other services.
Absolutely. And I think if we come onto that technology in a little bit more detail, so obviously lots of startups, small businesses are trying to become more efficient and trying to implement process whilst also running the day-to-day of their business, selling, marketing,
Yeah.
etc. So from Dell and Intel's point, what hardware or infrastructure investments should these founders, these teams be making early? Who wants to go first on that one?
I'm happy to go first. So I would say that the primary thing is making sure that your hardware perspective is that it's AI ready. Okay, it has to have the appropriate hardware capabilities on that device or devices to run the systems that you need to that are AI compatible. So the likes of having Windows 11, which I know for a lot of people was a little bit painful, not as much as going from Windows 7 to Windows 10, but the 10 to 11, which was communicated over many years, is obviously that timeline has now gone. So if you need to have the additional security elements within your Windows 10, you now have to pay an additional supplement for that. So having 11 is great because that opens the window on an AI PC to have enhanced security elements and features and functions. And just generally, I think it's having everything in the current mold of where you need to have it to actually embrace and capitalize on all the AI capabilities that are out there.
Absolutely. So essentially what you're saying is a business might think, oh, I might save money now by having Windows 10, but
Yeah,
actually you're going to cost yourself money in the long run by
absolutely.
not getting that perhaps Windows 11 at the start because of the security and
Yeah.
etc. Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what about from your side, in terms of hardware or infrastructure investments that are going to deliver impact early on?
Yeah, I think AI is definitely happening and is coming fast, and you see more and more applications with AI capabilities built in. So when you go out and buy infrastructure or buy PCs today, I think you need to think about definitely whether that piece of hardware can run not only AI solutions that you may be considering today, but all the AI-based applications that are coming down the road. Because you don't buy a machine and use it for a few months, you buy a machine and use it for a few years. So what if you buy a machine today without the AI capability and you're locked to that and you cannot use it for new technology or new AI-based capabilities until you refresh that PC again a few years down the road. So I think it's definitely, if you're thinking about you're going to use AI at some point, better get your infrastructure and your devices ready.
And in terms of using AI on devices, obviously we know there's things like Microsoft Copilot. Intel have an AI builder as well.
Yeah.
And some businesses probably don't realize that these tools, some of them I believe, can also be used offline, as in when you're working on your laptop on the move, for instance, not necessarily always in the cloud, or online, like many of the tools we might use within browser.
I
Is
think that,
that, go
sorry,
on.
I was going to say, sorry, I was going to say that I think that's one of the key things about the whole sort of having an AI ready PC. Is there's
Yeah,
a lot of things you can do locally on the device without having for it to have the latency of going up to the cloud and back down again. So it means that the functionality and the effectiveness of those applications can be so much more by having an AI PC that can cope with those particular activities. And obviously, the specs that you have for those devices, making sure that they mirror what your job role is, so that you have the ultimate PC, but also maximize its effectiveness, incorporating AI into that activity or activities that you're doing.
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm actually going to open up a question that's come in on the chat because I think it's really relevant now to where we are rather than waiting till the end for it. Thank you, Melvina, for your question. Melvina's asked, what advice would you give to founders and business owners in identifying the problem statements that AI technologies can help with? So I guess if we're taking it a step back before we're looking at that technology, how can these people map out, what are the problem statements that I need my tech to help me with?
So I think there's a lot of things. So if you look at Copilot, for example, that's used quite a lot to help in sales, whether that's with your Teams functionality and then getting, reports together, getting summarizations of what that information could be. But I think it's generally an important element to find out where AI can enhance your business. And that's the biggest thing for me is getting that right.
Yeah. And Jimmy, anything to add there?
I think I see a few areas that is actually growing in terms of AI usage, in terms of solving problems for the business. One is the employee productivity, like Copilot Plus, which can help you summarize emails or writing emails, presentations, documents, whatever. There's area of collaboration, how to use AI to enhance the collaboration between between your employees and between you and your customers. Because like today we are using Zoom and I'm using an AI PC. Zoom is already using the NPU and the GPU on the system to enhance the video and audio that I'm doing. So um, that's in the productivity area. And then also in the assistant area, so there are a lot of companies looking at AI assistants. Intel also got a AI assistant builder, which you can create a chat board to help you answer customer questions, to help you um, manage your HR processes, etc. So those help the efficiency of the organization. And then there's an area in security. So there are security solutions today that are starting to leverage the AI capability on the PC to help protect user credentials, protect your data, and protect you from ransomware on the PC. So those are areas I see increasingly um, development of AI technology. I think those are the areas that people can look into as well to find if there are solutions that really help their business and align with their strategies.
Great. Okay. So between the two of you there, I've heard about marketing and sales processes. So when we're coming back to those problem statements, security, obviously a big one, we'll come on to that a bit more, and collaboration. So some really important areas there for businesses to look at. Um, on that point, on security, Jimmy, actually, we've had a question come in from Deepak. Thanks, Deepak. If most of the AI services are on the cloud, why do I need AI machines?
Um, Great question. Is I think that goes back to the strategy as well. There are companies who are not comfortable putting their data on the cloud. Like your customer data, your confidential documents. Um, in that case, you would prefer to do it locally, and that's where the AI PC comes in as well. You and you don't need first you keep your data on the machine, so you don't need to send it to the public cloud, which you don't know what will happen to it. And two, it saves money as well. So if you can use and develop a chatbot that runs locally on your PC, you don't need to pay for a cloud company to run that for you.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. And we'll come on. There's another question that's coming in about security, but we'll come on to that shortly. I think if we zoom out a bit more on security, privacy and compliance, again, this can feel really overwhelming to small businesses because they might not even have these processes in place yet, and their employees are using various tools, for instance, with AI online, and they need to put process in place to try and manage that, and tools in place that are going to help with the security of the business. So, from the start, what sort of practices do you think people should put in place to help this if they're coming to it for the first time?
I think for me, from a joint up perspective, it's really putting the right strategy before you give these tools out to your end users.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have happened. Everyone's seen the ransomware. We've seen JLR. I think it was 1.9 billion pounds they've lost over the period of their sort of shutdown. It's not just it's every size of business that have had challenges around that. So security has to be the main sort of one of the mainstays of what you need to do. So from an AI perspective, having the right strategy of, what the use case is, how you're going to secure it, who needs it, who doesn't, how it's going to help your business and securely as well are the key things. And there are lots of tools that are available to help you with that. vPro is one of those great tools. We have a lot of tools on our devices that are as a default, so SafeBio, Safe ID, etc. But there's lots of other enhancements around Windows 11, as well as other things that Intel have brought into the systems that really enhance that security side of things as well.
Great. And Richie, just for anyone that doesn't know what vPro is, can you just briefly explain?
I'm going to leave that to Jimmy because Jimmy's the expert.
Okay.
But go for it, Jimmy.
No worries. So vPro is a PC platform developed by Intel about 18 years ago. It's targeting the enterprise and commercial segment. So there are features on the vPro PC platform that is not available on a non-vPro PC. For example, hardware-based security features that can protect the firmware, protect the BIOS. There are Windows features that rely on the hardware features, Windows security feature that relies on the Intel vPro platform to protect the Windows kernel, the user credentials, device drivers, etc. We also have AI-based ransomware detection available on the platform to help protect the platform and the PC from ransomware attacks. And then we also have remote management capabilities on the vPro platform, which when you have issues or one of your employees has issue with the PC, even when the operating system is not running, the help desk can go out and help the people fix the PC remotely. So those are the features that we make available on vPro and so that enterprises can make IT management or managing the PCs more easily and more securely as well.
Great explanation. Thank you. And obviously, Jimmy, you've worked with some bigger businesses when it comes to kind of AI deployment across, technologies and bigger enterprises. Are there any lessons from those that you can share with the smaller businesses here today?
Yeah, certainly. I think going back to what we talked about earlier, it's really important to understand what is your business strategy, what is your business priority, and then match that with the AI technologies. I think that's not different from big enterprises and small business. I've seen large customers who go out and deploy great AI solution that they think is going to benefit, but at the end, is a failure because it doesn't match their business priority, the users do not find it helpful. So it's really you need to find out the sweet spot where you align your business with the technology and then get the right hardware to support it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had another question. You two may or may not be able to answer. We'll see.
All right.
Um, what are the critical laws that you have to follow when you're looking at incorporating AI into business processes? Now, I know neither of you are lawyers, but can you offer any insight onto that at all?
Um, yeah, I can share a little bit. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but from working with my customers, there are things that similar things you would need to be concerned on with more traditional software or solutions. One of the key thing is the personal information. So where are you storing it? Where are you processing it? Even it's the same for AI and non-AI, right? So if you are going back to the question earlier, those informations that you are legally allowed to put it onto the car and let the AI engine process it. And sometimes when you do that, do you know what that AI engine is located? So are you allowed to transfer that information to that country to be processed? So these are the concerns that I see both, especially from my larger enterprise customers who they really think about before they implement the solution.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you'd also have to go to things from a European perspective, look at things like GDPR, make sure you're compliant in that as well.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there's some elements in there that have been added to cover the AI aspect of it.
yeah,
Absolutely. And I think also we had this at an event the other day. GDPR rules are different in different areas of the world. So we
Absolutely.
had a founder
yeah.
talking who operates a business in the US and the UK under very different rules. So that's something you need to look at. Okay, brilliant. So we've probably got some time now for a few more questions. Thank you to everybody that's been sending them in so far. If you've got any further ones, just pop them in the Q&A or in the chat. I can see Deepak has sent us a few notes on the security piece, which is obviously front and center of your mind, Deepak. I'm just reading through them. Using AI for sales processes and mentioned, so this comes on a little bit actually to what Jimmy's just covered, understanding the use of the DPIA documents. So for anybody that doesn't know what that is a document that's done within the business to look at how you're managing data. And it's key if you're managing any data in the business. He's just saying, sadly, for his job, he has to read all the acts and laws regarding this. So sounds like we should get you on here, Deepak. You sound like a pro.
Yeah.
While we just see if there's any further questions that come in, I just want to talk about, I guess, in terms of return on investment with time and budget here. So
Sure.
all startups and small businesses are always keeping an eye on budgets and how their resources are being used. Why should people here today consider looking at the practices we've talked about versus other things they might be looking at in their business right now?
I think it's key to keep on a par, if not above, your competitors, really, because they'll be looking at and reviewing their estate in terms of from a technology perspective. And also from when you're looking at budgets, it's things like, asset recovery. How do we get the older generation of those products that we have in our estate back, and how can we repurpose it? Is there a way that we can do that? And the likes of, in Dell Technologies, we have that capability to do asset recovery. Or it could be something like, how do we finance this new rollout of technology, where we have the likes of Apex pieces of service. So Dell Technologies has DFS, and that's not the furniture store. That's Dell Financial Services, because we have our own bank, and we can do things around financing as well if that's a challenge for some of the users out there.
Super. Jimmy, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I think my experience in this area is more with the large enterprises, but I think some of this is still holds true for the small and medium business. I think we talk about JLR regarding what happened there, and they lose 1.9 billion. The same security awareness and priority is applicable to the SMBs, because you can't measure, a lot of times this cannot be effectively measured before something happens. But if it happens, it costs a lot to the business, right? So when you go out and refresh your hardware or think about the business solutions or technology solutions you are buying, I think security definitely should be a key consideration. I spend a lot of time talking to customers about large customers primarily on the repo technologies that are used on the repo platform. Yeah, the security features or security capability of the platform is the top questions from my customers.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a really big theme of today. And I think interesting, like I said at the start, we see so much about AI and productivity, but now we start to see more of a focus on security and getting the right technology to manage that. Thank
And
you.
AI can help in both, in not just, I mean, the security feature on the platform can help because it can help. You can not just protect the AI engines or AI models running on the system, you can also use AI to protect the hardware itself. So they kind of tie to each other.
Absolutely.
I think just one thing to add very quickly from the security point of view, the one thing everyone should always remember is that AI is there for good, but for those threat actors, that's another tool for them as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great point. And I'm just going to share just something to close up before we just finish. Dell have also given us some discounts for the community today. So this will also go out in the follow-up email for you all. But if you want to scan the QR code now, you can, or look out for the follow-up email. But essentially, you can get discounts on lots of the devices we've touched on today, laptops, desktops, accessories, and monitors, etc., which are AI enabled as well. So do have a look. You'll just need to set up an email account on there, put in the enterprise passcode as your discount to get your offers. And like I said, we'll pop that in the email. And then in terms of what's coming next. So this is the first webinar out of the Work Reimagined campaign that we're doing with Dell and Intel. We are going to be running a few more webinars over the next few months with experts like Richie and Jimmy to delve into some of these topics a little bit more. And we'll also be hosting a area on the Enterprise Nation website with lots of other resources and a prize giveaway of some bundle of tech prizes as well. So very exciting. Unless there's any more questions, which I don't think we have at this point, thank you all for joining today. And I also want to thank both Richie and Jimmy for their time. Thank you both, and I hope you all have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You know,